I'm Miss Minutes, and it's my job to catch you up before you stand trial for your crimes.
But a lot of people are pointing towards Kang as the big baddie,
which I love.
I think it's a great.
I
think it's a great idea. But again, I want to disprove that it's Kang, and I want to use the 2 previous Disney Plus shows, Falcon, Winter Soldier, and The Vision, or Vision and WandaVision.
The Vision.
And the main reason is because those big baddies in those shows were introduced somewhere early on. There was no new extra characters suddenly dropped the second to last episode. The villains were kind of all contained in what you saw, much like a television show and how it kind of functions. The other big thing, too, is Kang as a character. It's kind of difficult to just have this person show up in an episode and say, I'm the big bad guy, and you, the viewer, suddenly care. Because if this is your first time introduced to this content, you're like, who the fuck is Kang, and why do I give a fuck about him? I think the big baddie is Miss Timekeep, the animated...
Miss Minutes? You just stole my whole theory.
Well, the...
Oh, hey, quit it. That is not nice. Jerk.
The reason I think that is... Well, tell me if this is the same theory, but the idea is I think the TVA had a legitimate plan in place to kind of help prevent the multiverse or whatever. But I think it's an automated system, and I think the system kind of fell in on itself.
It's HAL from Space
Basically,
Odyssey.
yeah.
That's essentially what I...
It's basically gone and it's fucked itself over.
That's cool.
And the Timekeepers, they may have been physical beings, but they're long
So the algorithm
dead.
is broken.
The algorithm is broken.
I agree. So that was like
That's
my whole
great.
theory to begin, where the timekeepers aren't real, like they're dead, kind of like the Castlevania trope.
Yep.
Right. And I do think Miss Minutes is kind of nefarious.
No. Thanks for visiting the TVA.
And I keep going back to the line Loki says in 1 or 2, where he's like, he's like, I know things that children don't. Right. No one is purely good and no one is purely bad. And you've seen that with a lot of different characters, right? That everyone's a little bit morally gray because it's more interesting. And we haven't, it just feels like there's much more to come with Miss Minutes. I think Tara Strong, the voice actress, has said, like, there's more to come with this character.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which
There's a
might-
cameo.
There's that marketing.
It could be right.
There's that Disney marketing.
Maybe she's taking on the Paul Bettany role and pumping up her character for no reason. But it also goes back to what we've like specifically seen in the show. Who is the character that gives you the information about the TVA as a viewer, and as for Loki and all these variants when they come in?
Good
It's
point.
Miss Minutes. The training videos they go on so much about in episode 2. It's Miss Minutes, who's this pseudo AI video thing. It wouldn't shock me if she's somehow manipulating like Ravonna and all these other characters too, of like, oh, these are the timekeepers and whatever.
I'd be curious to see, like, let's say we hit the nail on the head, and it is the TVA just kind of, and Miss Minutes is just basically the whole system is just broken. So then what happens with all these variants at the end? That would be interesting to see, because clearly there is some kind of science, or there is some kind of thing to prevent this multi-dimensional thing, supposedly, or, I mean, and it could also be that variants aren't bad. Variants are actually needed and a good thing. That could be a thing. So I'd be curious to see what happens at the very, very end.